And here is the writer's Almanac for Thursday. It's the 22nd of March, 2018. It's the birthday of the poet Billy Collins, New York City, 1941, author of The Art of Drowning, The Trouble with Poetry, Taking Off Emily Dickinson's Clothes. Billy Collins, who described himself as a Catholic high school boy in the suburbs who fantasized about stealing a car and driving nonstop to Denver, but there was always a test to study for or band practice. It's the birthday of Louis L'Amour, born in Jamestown, North Dakota in 1908, author of Westerns. He'd been taken out west by his father when he was just 15 years old. The family moved around Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Nevada. And Louis L'Amour started out to write stories for pulp magazines. His first novel came out in 1951, Westward the Tide. The Gift of Cochise was turned into the John Wayne movie in 1953, Hondo. Louis L'Amour, over 3 decades, turned out about 3 novels a year, sold 320 million copies worldwide. It's the birthday of Stephen Sondheim, born in New York City in 1930, the only child of very wealthy parents. He said, "I saw my parents occasionally at night and on weekends, and I thought every child in New York lived that way." His parents divorced when he was 10. And when he was 12, he made a friend, Jamie Hammerstein, whose father was the lyricist Oscar Hammerstein. And the Hammerstein family ended up virtually adopting the boy. And so Stephen Sondheim set out to write lyrics and music for Broadway. He got his big opportunity when he was 25 years old and wrote the lyrics for the musical West Side Story by Leonard Bernstein. Went on to do A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Farm, A Little Night Music, Sweeney Todd, Into the Woods, and many, many others. It's the birthday of the best-selling novelist in the world, James Patterson, born in Newburgh, New York, 1947, an executive at an ad agency who retired and devoted himself to writing, has published more than 70 novels. James Patterson, who said, "If you think of the story that you tell that's your favorite personal story or funny story, it doesn't have flashy sentences. It doesn't have too much detail. It just tells the story. That isn't, for whatever reason, the way most people write books, but it seemed to me that there was no reason that it couldn't be the way at least one person writes books. I said, I'm going to stop writing the parts that people skim." Here's a poem for today by Margaret Atwood entitled Dancing. It was my father taught my mother how to dance. I never knew that. I thought it was the other way. Ballroom was their style, a graceful twirling, curved arms and fancy footwork, a green-eyed radio. There was always more than you know. There are always boxes put away in the cellar, worn shoes and cherished pictures, notes you find later, sheet music you can't play. A woman came on Wednesdays with tapes of waltzes. She tried to make him shuffle around the floor with her. She said it would be good for him. He didn't want to. Dancing, poem by Margaret Atwood, from Morning in the Burned House, published by Houghton Mifflin and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac, supported by the Poetry Foundation, publisher of Poetry Magazine, the oldest monthly devoted to discovering and publishing new voices in poetry. You can browse 100 years of poetry and become a subscriber at poetryfoundation.org. Produced by Joy Biles and engineered by Noah Smith. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.